Mushoku Tensei is finally coming back, and coming back hard. No erectile dysfunction this time. After way too many years, Mushoku Tensei Season 3 is finally here, and the timing couldn't be better. At a time where trashy romantic comedy slop is at its peak,
アキラさん大好きです。
high-tier fantasy animes are on its lowest, and that's because of the isekai spamming slogfest. With good fantasy animes coming every now and then, you might get a season of Re:Zero or Konosuba, hell, maybe even Freerun. Like Freerun Season 1 came out after Season 2 of Mushoku Tensei started airing, and now Mushoku Tensei is back. This season is rumored to be about 27 episodes, split into 2 parts, so that means they are probably adapting Volume 13 to Volume 18 of the light novel, most probably taking their sweet time to make a faithful adaptation. And this is the highest rate of episodes per volume that we're getting. Usually it's around 4.5 episodes per volume, instead of the usual 3.5 to 4 episodes per volume, and the reason for that is that the volumes that they are adapting is absolute cinema. Let me explain. So, if you enjoyed Season 1 or Season 2 of the anime, just a little bit, and the character development, Season 3 will make all that seems like build-up, more like an introduction to the series rather than the start of the show. Mushoku Tensei only really starts for me and many others at turning point 4, which is getting adapted this season. This show will elevate emotionally. You see characters growing up mentally and physically. Dare I even say even Rudius will become more likable and start becoming relatable to a majority of the people watching the show, making you care about the world even more. While doing that, it will massively expand on the already set high world building. The world itself will start feeling more and more alive with actual geopolitical wars this time, and real conflicts. The main themes being around family, loved ones, and sacrifices. And for most of the fan base, the show really peaked at this part of the light novel, with other parts that are on par with the quality of the upcoming arcs. And that's all I can say, spoiler free. That's pretty much the end of it. There's a lot more I didn't mention that's gonna be adapted in those few light novel chapters and the upcoming 27 episodes. One thing I have my concern about though is that how they handled Season 2. Like, I can ramble all the way about that, but really I just want to speak about 2 main things. Is that how they handled the Norn arc and the Rudius griefing / Roxy becoming his second wife arc. Both felt rushed. Both have the same issue. I mean, the amount of screen time that they skip probably is double what the screen time that we got. A lot of our conversations either got shortened or removed, which made the reception for the Roxy scene really bad. I'm not gonna lie, like, for the people that were crying about how she didn't make any sense for Rudy to do that, they are probably right. And that's because they skipped through it.
And for the first time, it just felt like the writing was off. It just felt like there was no consequences to any action. There was no learning lesson. There was no point where people tried to become a better person. And Roxy as well. Obviously, Roxy, Roxy doing what she did for a emotionally vulnerable Rudy as well. Also, kind of seems like a dick move. Whatever.
And that's huge because, like, skipping through the Norn story feels criminal. Like, the whole show is based around what she went through, and to see Rudius interacting with her, like teaching her from what he learned about his mistakes from his second chance of life, and they just skip through it. And now actually with Season 3, there's a small chance that kinda would happen, so it just kinda concerns me. Because being a faithful adaptation to that material will actually make Mushoku Tensei Season 3 one of the best animes of the decade. But the director of the first season, Ryosuke Shiuba, is the sole director of the show of Season 3, which kinda gives me hope that it's gonna be as good as Season 1, maybe even better. So how the season probably be split? It would be 14 episodes for the first part, and then 13 for the second part, which probably comes out in 6 months to a year from the release date of the first part. The first part being where the turning point starts, the emotional part. And the second part of the show is where the consequences of that takes effect. Most probably the turning point is gonna happen on the first part, and maybe even most of it. At first it would continue to be a slice of life, maybe even a flashback of areas like where she was during the entirety of season 2, like we've seen in the trailers. One thing I really gotta mention though is that I really love and enjoy watching the age progression of the whole cast, like seeing the main characters grow up and act differently based on their age and maturity level really gets you emotional and proud of who they become as characters, right? And that's what's gonna be explored in the Eris arc, especially when they grow up with our knowledge of the worlds, so making us live through their eyes while the world grows bigger and bigger, and that just gives an insane amount of immersion in the six-faced world. At least that's what I think about it. Hey Jeff, what do you think about it?
Man, fuck this age progression bullshit they be doing, spoiling that pussy and shit. Age progression, they better be doing regression or they be banned off my island and shit. And they fuck it, am back playing Genshin Impact, since my Genshin baddies will never age. On God and shit.